See, that's the things that are coming out of your mouth, child. Babbling, insanity, delusions.
It's mucous membrane, bro.
I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by two really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic, echographic, and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent to Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in the tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease. So I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve.
From the world-famous Cardiff Electric Network studios in beautiful downtown OJ City, it's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider. It gives me street cred to whack alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
My partner in all things, Tacie. Hello, Tacie.
Hello.
And my partner in every other thing other than the things Tacie's partner with me with, Mel B. Hello, Mel B.
Good.
NP Mel B, the lady with no thyroid.
That would be me.
That's your tagline. That's a stupid tagline. This is a show for people who never listen to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you got a question, you're embarrassed to take your regular medical provider. If you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call, 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine or at DrScottWM. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcast, medical news, and stuff you can buy. Most importantly, we're not your medical providers. Take everything here with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking it over with your healthcare provider. All right, very good. Don't forget to check out stuff.drsteve.com. That's stuff.drsteve.com. And if you have a friend or if you yourself have a stringed instrument, let's say you got a gift of a stringed instrument for the holidays and you don't know how to play it, go to roadie.drsteve.com. It's roadie.drsteve.com to see the Roadie robotic tumor. That would be weird. A robotic tumor. The robotic tumor. Jeez, I said it again. Say it 5 times real fast and see. I don't know. But anyway, or you can see it at stuff.drsteve.com, but you can just scroll down. And basically, you pluck the string and the thing turns the key for you and tunes your instrument. Also, they have the Roadie Coach will teach you how to play your instrument. It's a little thing that you clip onto the instrument, and then there's an app that goes with it. It'll teach you to sing and play and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty neat. Check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net for the best CBD nasal spray anywhere. And check us out at Patreon. Patreon.com/Weird Medicine. I'm putting all the classic old Weird Medicine stuff that you can't find anywhere else is all on Patreon. And if you want me to say fluid to your mama or any other damn thing you want me to say, go to cameo.com/Weird Medicine and I'll do whatever you tell me to do, within reason, of course. All for $5 measly. So, all right. So check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. And check me out on Normal World, youtube.com/@normalworld with Dave Landau. And if you've got some questions for Ask Dr. Steve on Normal World with Dave Landau, send me an email. You can go through our website at drsteve.com. Just click contact. That thing's working again, I think. And if not, send me something on X or on our Patreon channel, patreon.com/Weird Medicine. Or just, give me a shout out anywhere you see me. And that's about it. How's things going at simplyherbals.com, Dr. Scott, or simplyherbals.net? Simplyherbals.net.
Did it, yep.
Yep, everything going okay?
Everything going
Pretty well.
All right, very good. Tacie, you got any topics for us today?
Yes, I do. Ben.
You do? Woo-hoo. Oh, weird.
Thank you, Scott, for sending.
It's Tacie's time of topics. A time for Tacie to discuss topics of the day. Not to be confused with Topic Time with Harrison Young, which is copyrighted by Harrison Young and Area 58 Public Access. And now, here's Tacie.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about what we got stuck in our rectums this year.
Excellent.
This is the 12th year that this series has run, and time really flies when you don't have something lodged up your butt. But for those of you who do, read on to see if you made this year's list. Okay. All reports are taken from the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission's database of emergency room visits. All descriptions are verbatim, and all entries below involve some very poor decisions. Stuck in the penis.
Uh-oh.
Following.
Wait.
A butt stuck in the penis?
No.
I mean, a penis stuck in the butt?
No, I said stuck in the penis. There's different categories.
Well, I thought you said, what did we get stuck in our rectum
That's
this
the
year?
title of the article.
Okay.
You got things stuck anywhere.
Well, then you changed. Okay, I got it. We're talking about something else now. All right.
Stuck in the penis. AirPod, pen cap, pen, coffee stirrer, screw, paperclip, wax straw, 4-inch metal tube. Took a piece of plastic-coated paper from a milk container, rolled it tightly, wrapped it with tape to the size of a greater than a crayon, and inserted it as far as he could get it into his penis.
Who did?
Several hours ago.
This is just a list of things?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Handle of plastic spoon.
These were found in an emergency room. That's what this article is about?
Yes.
Just to give people background. Okay. Because we talked about urethral sounding a while back, and I actually did speaking of Dave Landau, I did ask Dr. Steve about urethral sounding, which you can find on the internet. And there are things made for this. Don't improvise. If you really want to explore sticking things in the urethra, which again is called urethral sounding because back in the day, ships would have ropes with knots on them, and they would sound the. I don't know why it's called sounding, but they would determine the depth through these ropes, and then when they started measuring the distance from the urethral meatus, aka the cock hole, to the back of the bladder, they called that sounding, so that you're determining the depth. So when people started shoving stuff in their urethra for sexual pleasure, they adopted the term sounding. So, but there are things made for this that have balls on the end of, that have, enlargements on the end of them, so that when you very gently and discreetly shove this thing up your urethra for whatever pleasure that gives you, you can't accidentally let go of it and get it stuck up in there. So that's the context with this. Go ahead, Tace.
Moving right along. Handle of plastic spoon, plastic fork, glue, rolled up magazine page, ring from Powerade bottle, domino. That sounds different.
Domino?
Phone charging cable, thermometer.
Oh, my.
Now, the phone charging cable, remember we saw, if you look at again, sorry to belabor it, the video that I did on this, there was a kid that shoved a cable into his urethra.
Wasn't like a phone charger?
Yeah, it was all just coiled up in there.
Terrible.
And the point I made was that he did that. Some guy shoved a bunch of beads up there. They had to be surgically removed. The kid's thing had to be surgically removed. Somebody else shoved needles in there, and they had to be surgically removed. So the common thread is, if you do this, it's going to have to be surgically removed. Go ahead, Tace.
Things stuck in the vagina.
Oh, okay.
Plastic cube, plastic triceratops, bobby pin, shot glass, statue, toy fire truck, egg.
Egg? Okay, I can see that.
Patient reports partner was wearing an enhancement apparatus that became stuck following intercourse. Spork, bar of soap, deodorant, perfume bottle, pencil.
Well, they're just trying to make it smell better.
Pencil, sideways. Next one.
What
Placed a device.
Did Blind Mike say when he walked into the fish market? Well, hello, ladies.
Oh, God.
Moving right along.
Where's the gong on that one? That's what I want to know.
Placed a device that has a vaginal sex toy and an anal portion, which are connected by rubber cord both into her vagina. They were unable to retrieve it. They did have some alcohol this evening.
Yeah.
Next, curling iron, dry erase marker.
Curling
spoon.
iron. How do you get that stuck in there?
Time out.
Well,
Are we still in vagina or are we on colon already?
We're on vagina still.
Holy cow.
Curling iron, well, it's cylindrical. So,
Yeah, cylindrical, but how do you get it stuck?
I don't know.
God, I hope it wasn't
shoved
turned
the whole
on.
thing up in there.
Oh, my.
How cavernous was this person's vagina?
Dry erase marker, spoon, knife, bag of soil. Was roughhousing with
all
her.
right. You people out there, stop. What do you mean by you people? I mean you people who are putting bags of dirt in your vagina. Now, I have encountered this when I was doing primary care and did gynecology, where people would have intercourse while they were on their period and then push the tampon up in there and then forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then come in and say, oh, God, I've got this horrible smell.
Oh,
and you put them up in the stirrups and you put the speculum up there and you see this foreign body and you get these, this long set of forceps and you can pull it out and it'll be gray. And you did primary care too, right?
Did women's health for a little while.
Yeah.
Pull the tampon out, yes.
Yeah, and it's gray and slimy and smells to high heaven. And
God, it was
if you
awful.
put it in the trash, you have to take the trash out. But they immediately get better because the vagina is, very good at, fixing itself as long as you don't shove stupid stuff up in there. Now, the sex toy thing, I have had that actually happen. When I was single, they had these condoms called Magnums, and it wasn't because they were so freakishly huge. That was just the trade name. And I remember having intercourse and not, putting the condom on, taking the condom off, no big deal, right? Well, the next morning I pick up and there's a set of instructions that came with the condom. It's like, well, who needs instructions for a fucking condom? And I looked at it and it said, place the applicator, a thickened rubber, it said the thickened rubber applicator on the tip of the erect penis and then push down and then grab it with the shaft and twist and then take it off. And it was like, I didn't do any of that. I just thought I put a condom on and took a condom off. And it's like, where's this applicator thing? So I looked all around my bed, nowhere to be found. I called my girlfriend to come back over to the house. I said, I think there's something up in all that mess. And I, got her in dorsal lithotomy position, which is on your back with the heels up against your ass with the knees akimbo, and got up all in there and damned if there wasn't a applicator abs stuck up in there. And it was like it was condom shaped but thicker rubber, and it was more elastic in the sense that what you were supposed to do is put it on the tip and then just sort of give it a thrust, and it was supposed to unravel onto the erect member, and then you would take it off, and then the condom was properly placed. So anyway, so that was quite embarrassing, and I never used those condoms again. All right, go ahead, Tacie.
The next one says, was roughhousing with her husband who lifted her up and accidentally dropped her on a hot dog cooker, causing vaginal bleeding.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keys, candle, climbing peg, finger puppet, and a microchip.
Yeah, finger puppet, I could see. Hello, what's going on in here? Oops.
Hey, one of our friends here.
Whoa, fantastic! It's two keys up in this person's vagina.
Hey, one of our friends, he was running a log splitter, and he got his small finger in there and knocked half of it off.
Oh yeah,
and we had dinner at our favorite Italian restaurant like a week later or so. And I went to the store and bought him all these little finger puppets to put on there so he could...
so he could pretend he still had a finger there.
It was all, hey, we've got Amy is in here, and I don't know if she works at the hospital or what she does. It's certainly something in medicine, but she said they had a gal they pulled 6 tampons out of.
Oh yeah,
poor thing. Yeah, she was hospitalized, but she thought they melted.
Oh yeah, she just kept shoving them up in there.
Yeah, poor thing.
Well, my favorite rectal foreign body was 12 Barbie heads. You could see it on the X-ray.
Yeah.
12.
And then, okay, so let's just talk about rectal stuff and vaginal stuff. Just say you sat on it. No, that's the...
We'll make our own joke.
That's the
million to one shot.
No, that's the fiction that in emergency medicine we have decided, that we've agreed upon, that if you say that, we won't say anymore. Well, how'd this happen? Well, I sat on it. Okay, and then let's just get it out of there. And that's that. And that saves face, and nothing more needs to be said. Just say you sat on it. Coke bottle, light bulb, I sat on it.
Moving on to the rectum. Number 1, patient states that him and his wife got carried away and a portion of a plastic screwdriver handle is in his rectum.
Accidentally sat on it.
Xylophone mallet.
Sat on it.
Foam ball.
Sat on it.
12-inch ratchet extender. Doesn't know why.
Sat on it.
Cylindrical wooden block.
It was wedged between the seats of my couch. I don't know how. I sat down and went right up.
Yep.
Cooking spray. Patient states she believes she has a vibrator in either her rectum or vagina.
Yeah, sat on it.
Shampoo bottle. Lotion bottle.
Yeah, it's easy.
Can of deodorant. Plastic bottle with the bottom cut off. That's interesting.
What?
Ankle, abdominal, and neck pain after jumping off a second floor balcony.
You know why you would cut the bottom off?
Rectum.
You know why you would cut the bottom off? Because if it fits too well, it would cause an air piston, right? So you wouldn't be able to get it in because the air pressure on the inside would resist inserting this thing. So what the person did was they cut the end off to equilibrate the pressure as they shoved this thing in. So that's what that was about. And then they lost track of it. Because, if you've ever put a suppository in your rectum, it goes up so far, and then it just is like it has a life of its own. Just goes bloop. And what that is the internal sphincter of the rectum will squeeze down on this thing and tend to shove it up into the rectum, whatever it is. And you're going to lose finger hold of it, and you're going to lose it. That's why butt plugs that are made for this have a flat, enlarged, flared end to them so that you cannot shove it up your ass and lose it. So anything tapered, if you shove it up in there, you go a little bit too far, it's going to just bloop on up there, and that'll be the end of it. You're going to be going to the emergency room saying you sat on it.
Broomstick, 18-inch dildo. Dildo from 4 days ago.
Oh.
Next one, shoved a bag containing 20
Dildo
hydroxyzine.
from 4 days ago. So what these are emergency room slug lines. So when I worked in the ER, you would have this thing that would say patient states and then, chest pain or patient states. We had one that said patient states hit on head by plastic Santa at Walmart. So that was somebody who was setting something up for a lawsuit. But anyway, that's what these things are because dildo from 4 days ago. It's like patient states dildo from 4 days ago.
Yep.
Next one, shoved a bag containing 20 hydroxyzine pills into his rectum for street cred.
Yeah.
3 AA batteries.
Here, watch this.
Yes. Going back to prison.
I bet you won't do that. Well, I will too.
Going back to prison.
I'm going to get street cred.
Oh, my word.
But in our area, it's street credic.
Credic.
Can you get credic?
I love it.
Let's see. 3 AAA batteries, 2 AA batteries, 1 D battery.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Tried to remove poop with a pen a few days ago.
There you go.
Lost pen in rectum.
Of course.
50-cent piece.
Don't shove pens up your rectum if you are, again, if you're constipated, use something that's made for it, which would be an enema bottle, which has a narrow nozzle on it and then a big broad end that cannot be shoved up your ass.
Yep.
Scrub brush. Has a plastic baby bottle up her rectum. Patient states she and her male partner were getting kinky.
Ooh, well, there you go.
I hope they put that in quotes.
Wire hanger, enema bottle, 2 plastic bottles, and a shot glass.
Hey, I thought you said you couldn't stick a bottle there.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to. You have to try.
You gotta make an effort. Don't
accidentally. Right. You can do it. You can shove anything.
Anything's
up there.
possible if you try hard enough.
Yeah.
Tail of toy dinosaur.
What?
Next one. Tail of toy dinosaur.
Tail. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Next one. Patient states he tripped in the shower and fell backwards and landed on a shampoo bottle,
There
which
you
became
go.
lodged in his anus.
That's exactly the right approach. I slipped and
Slippery.
fell.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened.
Could happen to anybody. Yeah.
Please get it out.
States slipped and fell in the bathtub, landing on a shark toy.
There you go.
Next one, baby shark toy. Next one, cigarette lighter. Toothbrush holder. Took clonazepam dose 3 times instead of once and has a battery in rectum and has nausea.
There you go. Yep.
Light bulb. Broken light bulb.
Oh. Yeah, don't shove glass in any orifice of your body. Don't urethral sound with a glass martini stirrer.
No.
And don't shove glass items up your ass, either bottles, but particularly light bulbs, but particularly anything made out of glass. Don't shove that up there. And again, shove things, if you're going to engage in ass play or urethral play, do it safely with things made for it. Stop fucking improvising. Go.
Took vibrator out of anus. Noticed battery had fallen out.
Yep. Licked it. Didn't taste right.
Bottle of GHB. What's GHB?
That sounds interesting.
Oh, gamma hydroxybutyrate. That's not good. That's
like a date rape drug.
Right.
Yeah, that's not good.
Except it's actually a great drug. GHB and sodium oxybate is its analog, and it's sold, prescription for narcolepsy. And what it does is it resets your sleep cycle and normalizes it. Now, the problem with it is it can be absolutely abused, and it was abused as a quote-unquote date rape drug. But it's actually a great drug, and it's the cure for insomnia for a lot of people. But you can't hardly get it. I've been trying to get it. I have to go do a sleep study overnight, and then I have to come back in the next day and do a thing called a multiple sleep latency test, which is where they have me lay in a room during the day and see how many times I fall asleep.
Ugh.
And I have to be there from 8 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, dude, I'm going to fall asleep 10 times in the first hour.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
Board game piece. Metal toilet paper holder.
Is it from Mousetrap? Because that would suck.
It doesn't.
Remember Mousetrap, that game? Mel B, did you ever play Mousetrap?
I did not.
Oh, do you know what I'm talking about? It was a Rube Goldberg kind of construction, and there was a game to it, but nobody ever played the game. You just made the mousetrap thing go. The ball goes down, and it hits a trampoline, and it bounces, and it hits this other thing and goes down a little track, and then finally hits something else and makes the mousetrap fall down.
Metal toilet paper holder. Motorized tire pump inserted in her rectum and was insufflated.
Insufflated, it just means inflated.
For a duration of approximately 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Marbles, darts, plastic lemon, fake banana, Jell-O mold. Last, patient reports, I just got married, presents with a sex toy stuck inside his rectum.
Well, there you go. See, he's honest. Yeah. That's perfectly understandable. And listen, if this happens to you, it isn't something that just happens to you. If you do this to yourself, it's totally okay to go to the emergency room. There will be no judgment. And don't look at the video of that operating room in the Philippines where those people were taking, what was it they were taking out of that person's rectum? It was something giant, like a peanut butter jar or something. And they were all laughing and screaming and stuff. The patient was, had general anesthesia. But that's not normal. That's not what normally happens. Those people actually got in a lot of trouble for that because they posted it online. So that will not happen. No. If that happens in the United States, you will have a huge lawsuit and they will all be fired. So that won't happen. They won't judge you. They've seen way worse. I will guarantee you. So if it happens, don't hesitate to go. Just go and get it taken care of. All right.
That's all I have.
That's
for
all
today.
you. Okay. Well, that was plenty. That was a list
Thank
of
you, Scott.
nightmarish. Well, I said it. What did he say that I didn't say?
Oh,
He sent
I sent
it
her a
to
list.
me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
You said all the important stuff. I just said
No,
it.
I know. I said it was awesome. Thank you for bringing that. A list of
awesome
horrors. What?
I just told her that was an awesome list, Tacie. Good job.
Yeah.
Thank
good.
you,
Yeah.
Scott.
Fuck.
God and lady douchebag.
There you go.
You guys wonder why I'm stopping doing this show. All right. Mel B, you got anything? Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk about what happened to you this week? Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, I
Just
can.
to let people know
It's
about
terribly embarrassing.
it? It shouldn't. Why? You didn't do anything wrong.
I know, but I feel like an idiot.
No. You didn't do anything. No,
Too
one
late.
of our partners needs to feel that way, but it's not you.
No.
And we'll talk about that too. 'Cause I
Well,
think
part of it is I would have no money to give.
Yeah. Okay. We'll tell what happened. You're at work
I'm at work with a patient.
and the phone rings.
Yes.
Take it from there.
Okay, so my phone rang, and of course I ignore it because I'm with a patient. And this phone number calls back like 4 times in a row. And so I was finally like, well, I got kids and family. This might be important. So I stepped out of the room and answered the phone. And gentleman was on the phone and identified himself as a Sullivan County, I guess I can say that.
Yeah, Sullivan County, Montana.
Yes, there we go. Police officer gave me a name and a badge number and told me he needed to speak. And I was like, hey, I'm with a patient. Can I call you back? And he said, this is an emergency.
Oh,
well,
no.
My heart stops because,
Oh, no.
again,
You got kids.
I got kids that are older and out and about. I have a mother who's elderly.
Sure.
Oh, if she hears this, she's going to kill me. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh.
Why? Oh, because you said she's elderly?
Yeah, because I said she's elderly.
Well,
Love you, Mom. So, of course, he had my attention at that point because, my heart starts to beat
Sure.
at an
Yeah.
abnormal rate and my senses are alert,
Mm-hmm.
So he proceeds to tell me that a lawsuit has been filed against me. It involves a patient. And I needed to come down to the courthouse because I was supposed to be there for court.
You were in contempt of court,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I was in contempt of court for failure to appear.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that I'd been subpoenaed and gave me a date from a previous month, and I'd missed my court date this past Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I wasn't subpoenaed. And he told me he had a paper with my signature on it, all these things. And
Yeah.
I needed to get down to the courthouse right away. So I'm like, well, I ain't going anywhere without my attorney, and I got to call my boss and let them know
Yeah.
to get somebody to here, to the office to see my patients. He's like, you can't call anyone. The judge has issued a gag order. At some point, he tells me this, and
Right.
I know that this is bullshit
Red
at that
flag,
point.
red flag, yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
because
yep, yep.
I'm like, well, a gag order, okay, that's fine. I can talk to my lawyer about anything. It doesn't
Right.
matter. I'm calling my attorney. So I get my good pal Steve on the phone, who gets an attorney on the phone for me. This guy's freaking out on the phone. They're yelling at me.
Yeah, I could hear him. I could hear the guy yelling at her in
telling
the
me
background.
that I was going to be under arrest.
Yeah, you're violating it. And I told Mel B, I said, tell him to stop talking. And she goes, stop talking. Now, if that had been a real officer of the court, it would have been interesting. But he did. You had such a commanding tone. And
He shut right up.
The first thing I said was a gag order doesn't work this way. The gag order only works if the judge has imposed this on you. You're not under any gag order. You can talk to me. You can talk to anybody. So, yeah. So I conferenced in an attorney friend of mine.
While you were doing that, I used my office phone because I felt like that I was starting to very much feel like this was all a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. You're still freaking out.
Yeah,
though.
I was still freaking out. I was.
I mean, I don't
but there
blame
was
you.
other reasons. We'll get into that.
Right.
So I called, probably the most intelligent thing that I did after calling my good pal, Dr. Steve. My next phone call was to the county clerk's office.
There you go.
Where the General Sessions Court was. And, of course, when they get on the phone, I'm like, hey, I've got one of the county officers on the telephone with me. And he hung up at that point. And so they confirmed. What was kind of creepy is they were like, we don't have anything on you. And, I gave them my name and everything. They didn't have anything on me.
Right, of course, because you're a law-abiding
But when I
citizen.
gave them the officer's name, they're like, "Oh, wait, that's a Sullivan County officer. Let me get you to
and then it's, all of a
dispatch."
sudden it's got
So then
legitimacy again.
Yeah. There's some things that are adding up, and I'm like, and I went into a tailspin again.
Right.
But the horrible thing.
Well, it turned out, okay, so the nurse that was working with you that day
Yes.
used to work with them, and when you said the name, she said, "Oh, he retired two decades ago."
Right.
Thank
But
God.
I have since found out there is a bailiff at the courthouse that works for the county. That is his last name. That is his badge number.
Right.
And that is
But they
actually
gave
true.
the
But
wrong
he has
first
a
name.
different first name.
And the other thing that they did too was
I don't know that the retired guy had anything to do with it.
they do a background check.
Yeah.
Well, the retired guy had the first name
The
they gave you,
first
so
name, yeah.
they made several mistakes. The first thing that they said to you was, "Are you at some address?" And that was your old address.
That was my old address,
So-
and that kind of creeped me out.
Well, what they're doing though is they go and they do like a private eye background check. And they get your name somehow. They do a background check. They find out your kid's name, your phone number, your addresses, and all that stuff. They had to guess. So it's like a psychic doing a live reading. They'll say, "Oh, I hear a J," and it's like, "Oh, my son's name is Jeff, but it's with a G." And it's like, "Oh, yeah, G, oh, Jeff with the G, G-E-O-F-F. Yeah. I mean, that's how they do cold reading, and that's what they were doing with you.
Right.
They said your original address. You went, "No, I don't live there anymore," and they went,
I told them that's not my location. Yeah.
Right, and they said, "Oh, you must be at this new address," because they had two addresses for you, your old one and your new one, but they didn't know which one was current.
Yeah.
And they took a stab at it. When you said you weren't there, they hit you with the other one. That adds legitimacy to this because they know so much about you.
Yeah. He was very adamant. I think it was before I called you. He was very adamant that I leave and gave me my work address, that I leave blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
ABC Hospital on
Right.
Highway 14, that I leave the hospital and go down to my car. The whole thing was he wanted me to leave. He wanted me to meet him at the courthouse,
Yeah, but
and he would escort me into
At
courtroom
some point, they were going to
Yeah.
say you can avoid all of this.
I'm sure.
By giving us money,
Right.
which you never got that far because you were like, "Wait a minute, I'm." You weren't playing along. You were like, "I'm calling my attorney." No, you have a gag order. No, I'm calling my attorney.
Right.
What are you going to do? Come down here and fucking arrest me?
Yeah. It's just terrible because all this information, my current, my address, my work address, he asked what I would be driving, and he mentioned it very strangely.
Right.
I have 3 vehicles that are in my name because I've got kids, right, that drive.
Did he-
So he knew all 3, asked which of the 3 vehicles I would be driving.
But he didn't know which one was yours.
So it just, it
It's
rattled
unnerving.
me.
How did he know
That
all
was the
this
part that
information?
rattled
They
me.
did a background check on her. That's how they do
You
that.
can apparently
We can do that right now.
everything in your world is available online.
If you're willing to pay for it. And you get
Mm-hmm.
an account and you pay, $200 and you can pull X number of these. And so
Yes.
to them, it's worth it because one of our partners freaked out and she's one that she doesn't like conflict. So if someone's mad at her, she'll do anything that she could do to not for it to stop, and she gave him $4,000. And so the thing is that if they tell you, well, you can get out of this by paying a certain fee, you're going to go because they've intimidated you so much. You're
Right.
like, I'll do anything. What do I need to do? And then they tell you to go to Walmart or Walgreens or CVS and get gift cards, and that's when you know.
Yeah.
And if they tell you to buy crypto, or if they tell you to get gift cards, it's bullshit. It's a complete and utter scam.
An actual officer, you can't pay an officer off. That's
Well, right. They would
illegal for
exactly
everybody.
right. They would not have the ability to make it go away through a payment.
yeah.
So all of those are signs of scammy behavior.
Yeah. It just the personal information and that being out there.
That's unnerving.
Just it got under my skin, and I'm a paranoid, anxious person anyway.
Yeah.
And so thinking that well, what if his end game was not money,
Right.
and his
Yeah.
end game was human trafficking, and I
Right.
was about to be put in a
Yeah.
creeper van,
Yeah.
and so I was really freaked out. I didn't want to go to my car by myself.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be home by myself.
How did you get to your car? Because I know.
Well,
Well, first I drove her, and then it turned out she
realized I was so upset I didn't have the keys to my car.
Okay.
So we went back. I went back into my office, got my keys, and our building security took me out to the car. And the next morning, when I was coming into the parking lot, I called, and they met me at my car and walked me in.
And Mel B was an officer of the court, so she's very
so I do
handy
have
with a
little
gun.
history. Yes.
So she's got that under control. But, we can't have guns in the hospital. It says right there.
Which I think is complete and total bullshit.
Yeah, no, I agree. It says, TCA, statute, blah, 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 no firearms. So if we carry a firearm in to protect ourselves, we get caught with it, we'll get fired. But if I have somebody that I didn't give them their Lord tab or whatever and they get mad, they don't care about that sign. And, they'll just walk in with a gun. There's not metal detectors out there. So when I took my enhanced carry permit, Tacie and I took it at the same time. I asked the guy this exact question. I said, these people, somebody that wants to do mayhem doesn't care about that sign on the door. No. All that does is allow them to charge you after the deed is done with, another charge. And I said, what's the answer? And he said, Sabre Red Pepper Gel. So the Sabre Red, S-A-B-R-E, Red, you can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it a bunch of different places. The gel is better than the spray because it's targeted. It doesn't blow back on you because the worst thing, you spray somebody and it gets in your face. Now you're both incapacitated.
Oh, sure.
He said, unlike a taser, no human being has ever powered through this. Oh, wow. That's how potent it is.
Isn't it colored also?
Yes, and it paints your face blue. It's got dye in it, and so you can incapacitate someone without killing them. Okay. Now you may want to kill them, but then that adds other layers of problems, and depending on what state you're in too. So it's just better to incapacitate them and then call the cops or whatever. So I ordered 3 things of Sabre Red for your office.
Yeah, it has not come yet.
I just when I ordered it yesterday or the day before. It'll be there by Monday. But anyway, so anything else with this thing?
No, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm not quite as anxious.
I knew once you slept on it, you would wake up and feel better.
But walked around the house literally with my gun in my hand.
Sure.
I bet you did.
But you know what's crazy is after that was over, I told you that our other partner had fallen victim to this as well. Yeah. And then the partner that came to do your afternoon said, oh, yeah.
That happened to me.
She's so chill, though. She is the most chill person I've ever met. She just said, I just told him to screw off and just forgot about it.
And
it didn't even bother. It didn't even bother her.
She's like, they started talking. I just hung up on him.
And then when I got back to my office after seeing patients at your office that morning, one of our other partners said, oh, yeah, that happened to me.
Yeah.
So that's 4 people in our practice that have had this exact same scam pulled on them.
Yep. So it happens.
Yep. So
if you get a phone call, the moral of the story, if you get a phone call, just verify the information.
Yeah, you always can do that.
You're not going to go to jail if you hang up and just call.
Well, and they understand that these things happen. So if they call you, 100% of the time, if you say, I'm going to call and just verify this, if it's legit, they'll go, yep, awesome.
Sounds good.
They want you to do that.
Ask for me when you call back.
Right. Yeah.
And they'll do it.
Because not every call from law enforcement is a scam, but you can ferret out the scams by just asking for their badge number, calling back the regular. Don't call the number they give you.
No. Look it up.
They'll give you
call
some
the
bullshit.
actual number.
Right.
Because he did. I was like, do you have a number where I can call you back? And of course, he gave me the number that he called from.
Yeah.
But I mean, he had an answer for everything, which is...
Cletus called that number, if I recall, afterward, because nobody picked up. It just went straight to voicemail.
I had somebody call over here telling me I had to go to court.
Yeah. A
But I
friend
never
of
got any
mine
rise out of it.
called, I think, right away.
That
called
same
the
number?
hmm and the guy answered the phone.
Oh, yeah?
And he said, hey, is this sergeant, whatever
Yeah.
it was, blah, blah, blah. And the guy on the phone said yes. And he said, oh, I'm blah, blah, blah with the so-and-so police department. And he hung up on him. And then he kept calling. They kept calling back, and nobody answered.
Okay.
So,
that's funny.
yeah.
Good.
Crazy. So,
Phew.
anyway.
Well, I'm glad
I
you're
wasn't
okay.
planning to give him any money, but the fact that they...
I didn't ask for any yet.
No, he never asked me for money. He was very adamant that I go out to my car. He's like, come down to your car right now. And that freaked
That would
me.
scare me.
The way he was like, he kept saying it very much sounded like
they
he
weren't
was
out
waiting at my car. But
Guaranteed he
there
wasn't
was
out there.
Absolutely no one.
He was
going to
get you to the car, and then he was going to tell you to give him money.
Stop, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
Go to Walmart right now and get gift cards, and I'm going to stay on the phone with you till you do.
I would have laughed and been like, "You should have called me before Christmas."
Right?
Because now I have no
I
money.
ain't got no money.
I guess I'll just go to jail.
Well, scammers got to pay for their Christmas presents too. I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, the whole time all I was thinking was just like, I'm not the type of person that can be in jail.
Yeah.
Like, I will not fare well there.
And what's funny is when somebody accuses you of something like that, you start thinking that way, even though you know you didn't do anything.
Yeah. Like, what did I do that I didn't know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
It was a crazy day. And then I felt like an idiot.
Well, no, that would scare anybody.
No. Don't feel
'Cause
like
I
an idiot.
feel like weird now because, I mean, it's still kind of creepy that they have all your information.
Well, they do. They have all of our
And it
information.
bothers me.
Right.
But I'm not, like, I was shaking the other day.
Right.
I bet.
I had a hard time sleeping.
Yeah, I bet.
I bet.
There's data brokers out there. They'll sell all kinds of stuff. And there is, we don't have a sponsor, but there are companies that will go, I think there's one called, I can't remember what it is, Delete Me or something like that, where you sign up and they will go to the data brokers for you and have asked, request that they delete your information. Apparently they have to do it. Although if they're data brokers, why would they, it seems to me they would just say, yeah, we deleted it and still sell it. I don't know.
Really.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just our stuff's out there. Unless you're Ted Kaczynski, you're on the grid.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I've changed my phone number.
Well, you needed to do that anyway.
Yeah. And
'Cause your phone
I'm gonna
number
move
was-
to Canada. Yeah, my number's out there. Unfortunately, it was. It
So-
was the old one. You won't get me there now.
Yeah.
Ha ha.
Oh, well, I need your new number then.
I know.
Well, you're not going to get it.
I'm only giving that to certain people. Scott, you can have it.
I'll take it. Yes.
All right.
The
Okay.
Calvary.
Well, cautionary tale.
Yeah.
And always verify.
Always, yeah.
There you go. And
So the sheriff's department or whatever, they were like, no, we don't.
Yeah, they
would
confirmed.
never.
I was like, just for my peace of mind, Will, you just make sure that there's nothing filed against me. There are no citations issued. And they told me I had a squeaky clean record.
Of course.
I do. I'm such a
well,
good
they know
girl.
You're a
you
good
too
girl.
because you were previously an officer of the court yourself. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Anyway, all
there's
right.
that.
God,
Well, I'm glad you're
mighty.
okay. Jesus, but it just
I'm
everybody-
safe and sound. I haven't noticed any creepsters.
No.
or
That's not their
stalkers.
thing. They just
Thank
want money.
goodness.
He's not even close to here.
No. He's probably in China. Fuck China.
Or wherever. No, okay, that was Mel B saying that.
No, that was me, not anyone else in this room.
All right, very good. All right, cautionary tale. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad you're okay.
Number one thing, don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
All right, you ready to take some questions?
Oh, yeah.
Here's a good one. This is from Donna.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
Hello, Donna.
My question is, why do we see stars when you rub on your eyes? Let me know. Bye.
Okay. Do you know what those are called? I'll give a bell to anybody that can name what those are called when you
I
press
have no
on your
idea what
eyeballs.
she's talking about.
Oh, you ever pressed on your eyeballs and then you
have to do
see like patterns, like moire patterns? You have to do it.
I see nothing.
Close your eyes and take your fists and just
Don't
press.
mess your eye
I'm gonna
makeup
make
up.
it. Don't
do it.
Yeah,
Well, then
no,
don't do it.
do it.
Then don't do it.
Okay.
Just trust us. It happens. Check it out tonight.
Oh, wait. Ah.
You see? You've never seen that before? We used to do that when I was a kid.
Well, I've
on
never
purpose.
paid attention to it before.
So have you ever coughed and you see flashes
Sure.
of light or gotten hit in the head and see flashes of
All
light?
of the
It's
above.
all the same thing.
All of them, yeah.
Nobody knows the name of it. It's okay. It's phosphenes.
Phosphenes.
And these are
That was my
visual
second guess.
visual hallucinations, and they appear as flashes of light or other visual patterns. And it can be sort of moire patterns, patterns where you have two sort of intersecting
Kaleidoscope-looking
Is
thing.
this what
Thank you. That's a
happens
better
when
way to
you
do it.
stare at the picture on Facebook? And you stare at the picture and you look at it for a long time and it's this blob. And then when you close your eyes, you see Jesus.
Yeah, that's a persistence of vision thing, but it's different.
Oh.
Well, and it's
But it's similar.
and it's burning out the available neurotransmitters that see
Right.
those colors and forms.
that.
And then when you burn those out,
You get the
see
negative.
you get the opposite image.
Right.
You can do that with an American flag too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? Yeah. Take an American flag and look at it. A couple inches away from you for one whole
You got
minute.
to stare at one point.
Just one, right in the dead center of this flag, and then look at like a white wall or white piece of paper. You'll see the inverse of those colors. You'll see the American flag, but it'll be the exact opposite color.
It's just from depleting those
available
those neurotransmitters. They don't have an
brain does
infinite
such cool
supply.
things.
It does. Yeah, it's really neat.
It's
So
just
that's two different things.
two different things.
The stars.
They're
are
similar.
different.
They're very similar, but when you have pressure, you rub your eyes, coughing, blowing your nose, any sort of retinal issues, like you've heard of people having flashes of light when they have a retinal detachment. If they do magnetic stimulation, sometimes you can see it, or even MRI or a cranial electrical stimulation or radiation therapy to the brain. Those people will sometimes see phosphenes as well, and then drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. But the pressure phosphenes are just caused by pressure on the eyeball. So, nobody 100% knows the mechanism other than it's just the retinal, sensors get stimulated by pressure. Glaucoma would do the same thing. If you start all of a sudden seeing these weird patterns. And the other one that does it, but this is a different mechanism altogether, are migraines. You'll get that marquee. Do you get that? When you have migraines, right?
Yeah, I get it in my peripheral.
Yeah, you get sort of, it looks like marquee lights.
It's real dark, but there's like little, it almost looks like glitter.
Yeah, mine looked literally like, it was so much like a marquee. You know what I'm talking about, where you have the lights like around a movie theater in the old days, and the lights would spin around just by the way that they turned on and off in sequence. And I had that in my upper left peripheral vision. And I thought something bad was happening. And it was just, I had an ocular migraine. I had it one and never had another one.
Wow.
No headache with it or anything. But it freaked me out. And I went to the emergency room, and it was all I could see on that left side. And then while I was waiting for the neurologist to show up, it just got less and less and less. And I just quit. And I went, okay, just tell him not to come. I'm leaving. That was it.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, those are phosphenes.
One, and that's never happened to you again?
Nope, never happened again.
That is glorious.
That's something.
I wish I would never have a
Hey,
migraine
Dr. Steve,
ever again.
It's Donna Bell from North Carolina.
Hello,
My
Donna.
question is, if you eat instant mashed potatoes that were made with a cup of water, is that the same thing as drinking a cup of water? Thanks, bye.
That's a great question. So when it comes to the total mass energy tensor of the universe, yes, it's exactly the same. But that's one perspective. 8 ounces of water, outside your body is now 8 ounces of water inside your body, along with the starch and all the other stuff from the mashed potatoes. But as far as your body is concerned, they're completely different. If you drink water, it hits the stomach and is almost immediately begins the process of absorption. And so when you're dehydrated and you drink some Gatorade, it goes right into your bloodstream. It's pretty quick. Whereas if you put 8 ounces of water in instant mashed potatoes and then eat it, that water is bound up with the starch and the carbohydrates in the instant potatoes, and it will take a while for you to extract it. You'll have to digest the carbohydrates, and then during that process, eventually the water will be released.
Right on.
So it's very different in that regard. But otherwise, as far as, the mass of 8 ounces of water, you have 8 ounces of dihydrogen oxide and you ingest it, no matter how you ingest it, it's going from the outside to the inside. So, all right.
Gotcha.
Very interesting.
Good
Excellent question.
Donna.
Thank you, Donna. Donna, you're a good one, I'll tell you that.
Good one.
Yep, she surely is.
Last week you spoke of a friend of the show, Lady Di, having a type of permanent brain damage from drinking alcohol.
Wernicke-Korsakoff,
And
yeah.
specifically the cause seemed to be the loss of a vitamin called thiamine.
Correct.
When you drink alcohol year after year. So my question is, why don't we just add thiamine to beer? Thanks.
That's a great question.
It is a great question.
Why
And-
not just take it as a supplement if you're going to drink every day?
Well, there's a couple of things. Chronic alcohol abuse will tend to prevent you from being able to absorb thiamine. That's one thing. And the other thing is, though, the bigger point, which I think is a great question. Why not have healthier beer? We'll put thiamine in it and prevent, or cheap wine, like, the street wine and stuff. We'll put thiamine in it.
Mad Dog.
Yeah. And the reason is it's either, I guess it's the FDA or the who regulates the food supply, USDA.
Okay.
One of them has said you can't do that because then you could market it as being quote unquote
Safe,
good for
yeah,
you
or good for you.
or safer, and they don't want that. So they would rather people get Wernicke-Korsakoff than allow manufacturers to put thiamine in there because they're afraid that they would market it as being safer. Now that is some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that the alcohol, after a while, will prevent you from absorbing the thiamine.
Yeah,
so
it decreases the absorption.
If you're going to be an alcoholic, just start taking thiamine from the beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, sure, why not? But just don't. I mean, go to a meeting.
Don't be an alcoholic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's easy for us to say, but you can. Wernicke-Korsakoff results from severe acute deficiency of thiamine. The Korsakoff psychosis is a chronic, sequela of the Wernicke encephalopathy, and it's found in people who've used alcohol chronically. The metabolically active form of thiamine is thiamine pyrophosphate, and the enzymes that are dependent on thiamine pyrophosphate are associated with this thing called the citric acid cycle, also known as the Krebs cycle. And anything that encourages glucose metabolism will make this worse because it activates that cycle. So, you end up malnourished, and people who get IV therapy without vitamin B1 supplementation actually get worse. So we have to, give them, you can't resuscitate these people without giving them the thiamine up front, or you can actually make it worse. People with hunger strikes, eating disorders, if you can get thiamine deficiency from severe just malnutrition. In people whose diet is mainly polished rice, which is thiamine deficient. So if all you're eating is rice, you can get it, and that's called beriberi. You've heard of that. Mm-hmm. All right. So you don't want to give them a bunch of glucose before you give them thiamine. Anyway, all right. You'll get atrophy of certain parts of the brain called the mammillary bodies, and the thalamus can be, involved as well. So, all right. Ethanol interferes directly with thiamine uptake in the gastrointestinal tract. I'm looking at that right now in this article. So, all right, Dr. Scott, before we get out of here, let's check the waiting room. The waiting room is what we call the YouTube chat room, and you can get there by going to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine, and you can click the join button and click accept gifted memberships, and people give out gifted memberships. There are some members-only content on there. And as well, you can just click the like and subscribe and the notification button, and that way when we go live, you'll get a notification. I'm looking at Whiskey Dick. He has become a member of the Fluid family, so thank you, Whiskey Dick. And Whiskey Dick also gifted 20 Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve memberships.
There you go.
Well, that's very nice.
I need a...
Thanks, Whiskey Dick.
You know what's funny is in this world, like there's this guy named Penis Wrinkle, right? And he's got his avatar on the super chat system is Pennywise the clown. It's Penis Wrinkle. And it's hilarious to hear people talking about this because they'll say, yeah, I was talking to Penis Wrinkle the other day, just like it's normal. Like I'm saying I was talking to Scott or Mel B the other day. Yep, old Penis Wrinkle gave me a call. It's so funny. So, Whiskey Dick gifted 20 Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve memberships. I need to have something that I can play when they do that, but I don't have anything. I can do this. Oh, well, Whiskey Dick spent $20 giving memberships.
He's a fucking idiot.
How about that? We'll use that. Thank you, Whiskey Dick. You're the best. Let's see. Whiskey Dick said, is Hagamania really the end of Weird Medicine? Well, what it is the end of is the regular Weird Medicine Sirius XM /podcast thing. I've got to reclaim the Saturdays or the time that we're doing this. I think 20 years is enough. I think I feel like I'm phoning it in sometimes, and I really enjoy playing music with Dr. Sky. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. It's the one time I feel completely in control of my life, although that's less and less on this show. And then I want to do more documentary style stuff. And I want to do I'm going to be doing some more stuff with Dave Landau, hopefully, and, one-offs and things like that. I want to talk about, what's his name? Capricar's Constant. I want to talk about the Monty Hall problem. I've got great explanations for these things. I have a video that I'm going to show at Hackamania that is an Ask Dr. Steve about ass play. That really is the grossest thing that I've ever done. And just spoiler alert, I talk about how inserting things into your rectum does not necessarily increase incontinence. It does increase the tone of the sphincter, and that's measurable and known, but it doesn't increase incontinence. And then when I'm talking about that, I have videos of like goats and horses and cows just taking giant shits and dropping them, as they're walking. So, because that's your fear, right? Is that if you engage in ass play, is it going to cause me to just start dropping logs everywhere? But anyway, it does not. Done properly. Let's see here. Hamhead, member for 3 months of the Fluid family. Thank you, Hamhead. And Darth Nugs. Darth Nugs also gifted 5 Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve memberships. Yeah, I was talking to Darth Nugs the other day, and Darth Nugs said a one-off Myrtle cast would rule.
Oh, my.
Oh, yes.
No.
I agree.
No, it
Well, now, let me tell you something. We already did this.
Yeah.
My best friend, one of my best friends, David, sat where Mel B is sitting right now, and we talked. He has a character, Ermeline Spratt, and I have Myrtle Manus, and they both talk the same way. Well, if you,
it was terrible.
And I'm turning your mic off.
It was unique.
So we talked for 20 minutes. I broke it up into...
People begged to stop.
No, this is, I'm talking about something completely different. I broke it up into 5 4-minute podcasts, and I put it up on the internet as under the tag sociology, right? So there were 5 4-minute segments of these 2 idiots going, well, old Cletus, he's only 3 foot tall, and all this kind of stuff, right? And I wanted to see if anybody would listen to it, because under sociology, it was like Appalachian culture or something like that, right? Is the way I tagged it. And it got about 1,000 listens. Some poor sons of bitches, found this thing. So I ought to listen to this. So, it was part of my thesis on Appalachian culture or whatever. And they were listening to David and me doing Myrtle and Ermeline. So anyway, there you go.
Oh, my.
We'll see.
That's funny.
Darth Nugs, Myrtle will be at Hackamania, and she's going to be doing a duet with April Brucker, the ventriloquist, who has a residency in Las Vegas, too. And I think they're going to do a rendition of Ray pissing in the hallway, which is an in-joke for all the Dabbleverse people. But anyway. All right, you got any other questions in there?
I didn't see any other ones, no.
Okay, so
I think we're good.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, thanks, everybody. You guys have anything, Tace?
You guys.
Mel B? Okay, don't fall for scams, y'all.
Don't fall.
Do what Mel B did, exactly what she did. I'm going to call my attorney and get your attorney on the phone. If you can conference them in, so much the better, because these people will just go away because they don't want any trouble. They just want money. They want an easy mark. All right, thanks to everyone who's made this show happen over the years. Listen to our SiriusXM show on the Faction Talk channel, SiriusXM channel 103, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on demand, and other times at Jim McClure's pleasure. Many thanks to our listeners. His voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. And go to our website at drsteve.com for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps. Quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.